He who knows himself knows his Lord. Imagine waking up one morning to discover that every mirror in your home reflects not your physical appearance, but the unvarnished truth of who you really are, your fears, your unfulfilled potential, your hidden virtues, your unacknowledged flaws. Would you dare to look, or would you, like most of us, turn away, continuing the elaborate dance of self-deception that keeps us comfortable yet incomplete? The paradox of human existence lies in this tension. We desperately seek to know ourselves, yet systematically avoid the very reflections that would reveal our truth. What parts of yourself have you buried so deeply that they've become strangers to your conscious mind? What versions of yourself have you sacrificed at the altar of acceptance? What truths about your existence have you refused to witness? Yesterday I was clever, so I wanted to change the world. Today I am wise, so I am changing myself. Rumi understood that the greatest journey is not outward, but inward. A pilgrimage to the center of our being, where transformation truly begins. The resistance to self-reflection isn't merely reluctance, it's neurologically hardwired. Your brain, designed for survival rather than truth, constructs elaborate defense mechanisms to protect your self-image, regardless of its accuracy. As the great philosopher Al-Ghazali discovered during his spiritual crisis, knowledge without action is insanity, and action without knowledge is vanity. The discomfort you feel when confronting your true self isn't weakness, it's the growing pains of wisdom. Your identity isn't fixed, but fluid, a narrative you're constantly writing and editing. Yet most of us become trapped in outdated versions of our story, clinging to chapters that should have ended long ago. The characters we once played become prisons that prevent us from becoming who we might be. Consider how often your actions contradict your stated values. This cognitive dissonance creates a psychological tax, an ongoing drain on your mental resources as you work to justify the gap between who you claim to be and who your behaviors reveal you are. Look within. Within is the fountain of good, and it will ever bubble up if thou wilt ever dig. Even as Emperor of Rome, Marcus Aurelius recognized that power over others means nothing without mastery of oneself, a lesson as relevant now as it was 2 millennia ago. The ultimate deception isn't what others tell you, it's what you tell yourself. Every time you rationalize a failure, blame circumstances for your choices, or pretend not to want what you truly desire, you weave another thread in the veil that obscures your authentic self. The Sufi master Ibn Arabi taught that he who knows himself knows his Lord. This isn't mere religious sentiment, but profound psychological insight. The barriers that prevent self-knowledge are the same that block connection to anything greater than ourselves. Neuroscience confirms what mystics have always known. Consistent self-reflection physically rewires your brain. The discomfort you feel during introspection isn't damage. It's the sensation of neural pathways being reconfigured, like muscles burning during exercise. What if the version of yourself you've been avoiding is actually the one that holds the key to your liberation? What if the qualities you've disowned, your anger, your ambition, your desire, contain not just darkness, but vital energy waiting to be reclaimed? What lies behind us and what lies before us are tiny matters compared to what lies within us. Emerson's words remind us that the frontier of self-discovery remains the least explored territory in most lives, a wilderness both terrifying and filled with treasure. Here is the radical truth. Self-reflection isn't about fixing what's broken. It's about discovering what was never broken in the first place. Beneath the conditioning, beneath the wounds, beneath the adaptations lies an essential self waiting to be remembered rather than created. No knowledge is that which is on the surface of the tongue. Rather, knowledge is that which benefits. Imam al-Shafi'i's wisdom cuts through intellectual vanity. True knowledge transforms the knower, not merely informs them. The journey of self-reflection isn't linear, but cyclical, a spiral path revisiting familiar landscapes from higher perspectives. What once appeared as insurmountable obstacles gradually reveal themselves as the very stepping stones that elevated your consciousness. Your vision will become clear only when you can look into your own heart. Who looks outside, dreams. Who looks inside, awakes. Jung's insight reveals why external achievements often leave us empty. They're substitutes for the inner work we're avoiding. The most powerful question isn't what you want, but why you want it. Beneath every desire lies a deeper longing for connection, for meaning, for wholeness. When you trace your wants to their source, you discover motivations that have been driving you without your awareness. The path to Allah is blocked by oneself, and the journey to Him is by traveling through the wilderness of oneself. Ibn Qayyim recognized that spiritual growth and psychological development are not separate paths, but the same journey viewed through different lenses. What if the self isn't singular, but plural, a parliament of voices, each with wisdom to offer? The mature person doesn't silence these inner voices, but learns to facilitate their dialogue, becoming not just the actors in their psychodrama, but its mindful director. The unexamined life is not worth living. Socrates paid with his life for this conviction, understanding that comfort purchased at the price of self-deception is far too expensive, a bargain that costs us our authenticity and potential. Here is the revolutionary perspective. Growth isn't about becoming someone new, but about shedding what isn't truly you. Like a sculptor removing excess marble to reveal the statue within, self-reflection is the chisel that frees your authentic being from the stone of conditioning. Knowledge exists potentially in the human soul, like the seed in the soil. By learning, the potential becomes actual. Al-Ghazali's insight reveals why information alone doesn't transform us. Knowledge must be planted in the soil of experience and watered with reflection. The most important decisions in life are not what to do, but who to be. When you clarify your core values, not the ones you were given, but the ones you've consciously chosen, decisions that once paralyzed you become clear, guided by internal compass rather than external pressure. O God, if I worship you for fear of hell, burn me in hell. And if I worship you in hope of paradise, exclude me from paradise. But if I worship you for your own sake, grudge me not your everlasting beauty. Rabia's prayer reveals the ultimate freedom that comes from actions aligned with authentic values. The deepest revelation is this: self-reflection isn't just about understanding who you are, but about recognizing when you're not present at all, lost in regret about the past or anxiety about the future, missing the only moment where transformation is possible. In the end, the greatest paradox of self-reflection reveals itself. The deeper you go into your unique individuality, the more you discover your fundamental connection to all that exists. The boundaries of self dissolve not into nothingness, but into everything.